where you're going to be going to. So whether that would be your base, I guess, if you're looking in your community for outside people or experts, you want to call it that are going to be on your committee, that would be your opportunity to go with those people to advocate.
I think Councillor Cook is bang on, but I'll tell you, I think you're reinventing the wheel. You got it right here in Chatham, Kent. They have a terrific model. They hit everything: agricultural, food processing. Well, we don't have automotive or advanced manufacturing, energy, retail, tourism. I mean, the template is wonderful. It's open enough that you can adapt it for Lambton Shores. The membership, perfect. 3 members of council, the mayor and 2 councillors, and representatives from all these different areas. It's fluid, 2-year term. It's terrific.
I think when I gave these things out, Martin and I are working together, but I did a little independent stuff, which I always will, so sorry, partner. But the reason that Carol gave us the terms of references was indeed, and I felt that I could sit down and I could take a composite of all of them and put it together and bring it back, run it by Martin, and then see what he says. However, I think that that's where we need everybody's input. We all have different intellects, and we all have different backgrounds, and we all have different things that we can bring to a committee. So, and I think that there are some of us that have even done this before. So, I think that the terms of references, I mean, as he says, Chatham's is a good one. They're all good. They all have some really good stuff in them. So I think if you'll take a look and read those and bring that back to the next meeting, I think that's where we can actually do the terms of reference. However, I think that we can move forward in some other aspects of it.
Okay. John's going to poke now. He's kind of behind you. He couldn't see. He couldn't see his hand. Because that probably before mine was. So I guess the first thing that the both of you are looking at is to come to some kind of agreement around the terms of reference for a group, or to look at the strategy for moving forward. You know, a lot of organizations, whether it's SLEP or whether it's SOMAFRA and the Rural Economic Development Program, have a number of tools that can be used. Do you see those tools as being used by this particular group to move forward with the strategy?
Just before Martin does, I did give Carol that one that you sent me.
From the OMAFRA stuff? Yeah.
So, Martin, and then
it's good
information.
Okay. Again, these are templates which are fantastic, and if a group that is out there that we have given the mandate to go out and find out this first question, they can use whatever template they want to do, and we can discuss it and all the rest. I don't think it's if you guys all want to be involved, that's fantastic at this level. But this is like going deep into the weeds. We're asking people to go into the weeds to look around and see what's going on. Our job is to look at vision and basically come up with an economic development plan that fits with our strategic plan. We're not supposed to be going out there using all our time and effort and resources, individually going out and coming up with 9 separate plans. So what we're doing is we're asking the group, and these are, like I said, these are examples that they will look at and they will decide on the vehicle for them. We decide on the vehicle that is going to be asking these questions. They will find it out, and I'm sure they will come up to basically what's come up again, but how they arrive there is very important. How they arrive there is distinct and unique for Lambton Shores. Every community is different when it comes down to your individual history, your individual needs, and your individual economic requirements. So how they end up with it is going to be for them to decide.
Yeah, this is great. I'm very happy. I want to just, Councillor Ruth just mentioned about anyways, I've done a little bit of county in-house stuff for you guys, and what I'm getting from the people in-house, and the deputy and I have talked about this, what I'm getting is each of those groups, whether it's TSL, SHLEP, we know about OMAFRA, and OMAFRA not just in terms of doing a structural, type of thing. They're also willing and able at any time to give us expertise, which would be, I call that staffing expertise that we need. So I think in terms of reinventing the wheel, I agree with you guys 100%. The wheel is there to be invented on our basis Schlepp, TSL, and the new cultural plan, which Ruth was part of. Those people are all really willing and able to come here and say, okay, let's not reinvent the wheel in this area, but if what we've got to define early on with them is, here's the box, or what you're trying to describe right now, and then send that to them and say, could you come and tell us how you can partner with us within our criteria? They're ready, willing, and able to, and I think what they really don't want, and I think Ruth and I talked about this, is the idea of them coming and sitting there, and we sit there and watch a PowerPoint, and by the time we're done, we're so tired we can't remember what to ask a guy who's got little figures on the board, and, you know, like, what we need is them to come and say, okay, you guys have defined the thing, here's how I can help you with the problem, and these people are experts in their field. I mean, these are wonderful people, let's go ask for their help versus arguing with them and saying, you haven't come to Northampton in 22 years,
No, that's
you know,
right.
like,
This is
who
positive.
cares, who cares?
Martin?
Again, when we went on to a strategic planning thing, what was that, the economic development thing we did last year in Chatham? There are lots of organizations that you can help and plug into. I believe first that an ad hoc committee, they can go and talk to them and they can see how it affects them. But the one thing that was told over and over and over again is you have to be able to identify your product. We have to identify who we are, what we sell, what's our advantage, what's our disadvantages. We have to know what that is. So once we identify our product, we're miles ahead, because then we can start utilizing these other resources that are there. Because right now we're going up there and we're saying, what can you do for us? Well, you know what? They're there. We have to go up and say, this is what we have. How can we be implemented? How can you help us move on from this position here, from here to there? And the way to do that, I think, for us to be able to understand it in an easy way, is to have an ad hoc committee that goes out, asks this question, does the research for us, comes back with their recommendations on how this is going to be affecting us, how we can use these resources, what resources are there which we haven't presently identified. We don't know. We really don't know. We just know they're there, okay? We pay a lot of money into the tax base for this. It's great, and I don't think we're utilizing them as efficiently as what we really ought to be. But before we can do that, we have to know what our product is. They have to be in on it as well to help us. They're going to be part of helping us, helping our committee or whatever vehicle we choose, decide a route forward for us to be able to understand.
In the large sheet that I handed out with little dots beside it, I had written, I'm going to read it now, yes. To begin the process, we need to know the identity of the businesses in the area. We need to know what TSL does, the Grand Bend and Area Chamber of Commerce, and the BIA. We need to identify current activities that happen in Lambton Shores. Work with existing groups, CIB, service groups, trail groups, etc. Everything is economic development. Each and everything we do on a daily basis in Lambton Shores. We need to identify the catchment areas, which are Sarnia, London, and Kitchener-Waterloo, from a discussion I had with a couple gentlemen. Establish and promote the things in place and build on them. Increase the market share so that Lambton Shores gets a fair share. To be modern, use QR codes on information. Update the website with easy-to-find items. Develop, and I think this is really key, develop a pamphlet about Lambton Shores that is generic but outstanding enough to be used as information. Identify arts and culture and promote, have strategic partnerships, fill empty storefronts, promote cottage industries, example, museum, pinery, agriculture, herb farm, Twin Pines. Thank new business who take a chance on Lambton Shores. Future, look at our local job banks for part and full-time people and locations for information to get people interested. And I know I'm way ahead of myself, Martin, but that's what I did in my few minutes of sitting down with a couple people and doing stuff, so, go ahead.
Again, all good points, and everybody's got points and stuff, and I agree with them, but it's the answer before we're asking the question, asking people to go out there and find the questions. And that will probably be the result of it, or however we come down to it. It may be different. And the important thing is to ask the question and get people out to do the research that we think we know the answers to already, and the chances are we don't. We may be working on information that may be decades old, we may be having assumptions that we're working upon which may not be relevant in what we're doing. We need to know, and it's important, because all these reports that we do have a shelf life, and it's very important that we get going on it now. What worked 20 years ago perhaps may not work quite so well today, or may have an opposite effect.
So